Well, now, listen. Never marry someone who is on a financial crisis. I repeat once again, kindly guys, never marry someone who is on a financial crisis. And I'm going to explain my point before I even tell you to subscribe. Listen, have you ever been in a situation whereby maybe you've ever had, or maybe you yourself have ever gone through this situation? You find somebody who are facing some financial crisis. They are barely getting by. They really need some cash. Maybe where they come from, there is a lot of poverty or something of sort. And then these people, when you're in such kind of a situation, there is a certain loyalty that they serve you with. And then you tend to confuse that loyalty with love. And this is where a lot of people get, for example, you pick somebody who is struggling out there and you be like, hey, guess what? I'm going to pump in more money. I'm going to support them. And then I'm going to make them my wife, or I'm going to make them my husband. You get the thing? And then they tend to, and by the way, okay, we are speaking the truth. They say, I don't know who, but they say poverty makes a man humble. And that's why you find, like, you can find a man somewhere who doesn't have money. They tend to be so loving, so kind, so good, so, down to earth. Or you find a lady who is so loving, so, I'm saying in quotes, so loving, kind to her, down to earth, supporting, all those kind of listening to you. Whenever anything you say, they nod and be like, yeah, it's true. But then you have a point. You have a point. You see, when you lack or when you do not have, you tend obviously to be cool, to be, calm and collected, so that at least you can benefit with whatever is going around there. And then if you tend to go into that thing thinking like, hey, guess what? Well, I do have this chance because I have the money, I have the capacity to help this individual. I can help them and support them, of which good Joseph supports. I totally support people supporting each other. I love support, and you should do, and everyone should do. We are here to help each other. I totally support that. But now, this is where then we draw the line. You support this individual. You wanna, for example, I came across an individual who was like, he got a very nice and good looking girl, but she was having some problems. And the guy was like, okay, fine, she's beautiful, she's okay. And guess what? She's facing some kind of a challenges here and there, and I do have the capacity. Her home, they are suffering in something of social. He decided to go build their home, build the parents of the ladies a house and all those kind of things, the support and what have you, empowering and all those kind of things, which is nothing wrong with empowering people. It's okay to do that. But now the problem is he's doing all this with some hooks attached. Obviously, when you do that, you expect a reciprocation of that exact thing. Then that loyalty with that individual who is facing the financial problems, you go ahead and get that loyalty until they reach a certain particular point. But before I tell you what particular point is that, hey, guess what? Come on. I've been watching my videos, and you've not subscribed. Or maybe you're watching this video for the first time and you have not subscribed, Down below there on your right, just, adjacent to my subscribers here, there is a small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, like this video. And I know you're like, what's the importance? The importance is that I always upload that video each and every day, all right? Enough with that. Let's go to the next point. Don't forget to as well like the video. Now, the point is this. Now, until they reach a certain particular point, at this particular point is the situation whereby now they become themselves. Remember one thing, and I want to show you something today. Money, you see, I love to teach you these things because it's a combination of both social and financial life, and they really matter a lot, and you have to get it right, because if you get it wrong, you're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. Okay, see, money does not change anybody. Money does not change anybody. Money does not change anybody. So you say like, oh, she got money and changed. Oh, he got money and changed. He used to be a very good, loving husband. Though the dude was broke. The dude was broke. That's why he was, such kind of a thing. Or the lady was just broke. And now, the moment she gets what she was looking for, the moment he gets what he was looking for, now he becomes him. Or they become they. Let me just use that term. They become they, okay? So money does not change anybody. What it does, it just elevates or amplifies what you have deep inside of you. If you're arrogant, you get money, you're gonna be arrogant. If you're not loving, you get money, you're gonna be a big person who is not loving. If you're a philanthropist, you're gonna go ahead and be a philanthropist, okay? So it just you getting the money. And that's why I always tell people, sometimes we cannot really tell people to marry when they get money, because obviously that may be controversial. But sometimes it's really helpful because you can really tell, because they say, hey, give somebody money and power and see who they are. The moment you give them power and money and they're still loyal, they're still good, loving and kind, Wow, that's a beautiful soul to be with, okay? Now, I'm telling you not to get somebody who is facing some financial crisis. You would rather go ahead and help them get off the financial crisis without any strings attached, help them on the basis of, hey, let me help this individual, they become better in their lives. If they still maintain the loyalty to me, well and good, I can think of maybe making them a wife, making them a husband. But if they do not, I just help them, they vacate and leave. I'm okay, I'm at peace with that. If you approach it from that perspective, you're gonna have a very amazing time. But if you do, hey, guess what? I'm gonna help this individual with conditions. Like, hey, they have to maintain that loyalty to me. That's a reality. Okay, fine. Now, this is the point. You find, you see, when you have inadequate money, or let's say when you have inadequate financial muscles, you find that usually in a position whereby obviously you can't be broke and rude at the same time. And if you are broke and rude, then you have a very big problem. Or you have ego, or you are proud, you are broke, you are proud, you are ego, you are rude, and all those kind of things. You're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. And that's why we say you must follow before you lead. It's true. For example, I mean, seriously, you graduate from university, you're fresh from the real world. You do not even know where to go. You don't even know. So you shake off your pride, if you have it, the ego and everything. You go first of all, you learn, you follow people, and that's all. For example, hate or like him. Okay, I'm not saying that I like him or I don't hate him. For example, if you take an example of our current president of Kenya, William Ruto, that guy was like facing like rejections from the president and all those kind of things, but the guy was still there. You know, he was still there. He had an eye on the bullseye or something of sort, and until he got where he is now. See, fine, I know that may be a little bit of political thing. Whatever the point is, the point I'm trying to drive home is that you must follow first for you to lead. There's a reality, and that's for a fact. You know, see, for example, when I was starting YouTube, you ought to listen to those people who are already successful. You ought to listen to them. They tell you this. Sometimes they tell you in a very harsh way because they want to build that. They want to build that personality deep inside of you. Feel that, or you think that they are rude. They're not rude. They're just telling you the way it's supposed to be. Okay, tough love works. Okay, now here you are. See, the moment you have inadequate finances, obviously you tend to be have a low demeanor. So when you have a low demeanor, because you want to benefit not only financially but also socially and something of sort. Now, the moment you start placing yourself in a situation whereby now the money is flowing in, now you're having some cash, now you start, evoking that beast deep inside of you. You start becoming yourself. The real you shows up. The real you shows up. And the moment the real you shows up, and this guy was building as somebody who is loyal, and then the real you shows up and the real you is rude, then you cannot be loyal to somebody. Then it means that you have to part ways. And that's the dangers of having or getting somebody who is facing some financial crisis. Another thing, for example, say you get somebody who is facing some financial crisis, okay? And this individual, or you get somebody on board in terms of marriage, and this individual, all what they think about is building their home. I want you to get this point. It's a very sensitive one, yeah? Can you imagine this? Getting on board with an individual who thinks, can you imagine this if you're a lady here? Can you imagine marrying a guy whose priority is to, I want to build my parents' house, I want to educate my brothers, I really want to make sure that they settle. He doesn't even talk about, there's two types of home. There is where you come from and there's where you create, or where you are from, or where you are right now, okay? Excuse about that. So if you have a differentiation between where the home you created and the where you came from, you really have to know which one should I give the priority. Or maybe you bring on board a lady who is like, guess what? I'm thinking about how to educate my brothers and sisters. I'm thinking about how to support my parents. I'm thinking about to do all those kind of things like that. That is their priority. And they're not saying it's a priority within a period of time. They're just saying it's their priority. I will die for anything, and for that, I'll be able to support them. I'll do. There is nothing wrong with that. We love our parents. We love to support them. But we should not lose the eye on what we are having right now. And again, and that's why I always tell people, even before getting on board with somebody, don't just ask the question, do you love me? Yes, I do. Then, okay, fine, you qualify to be with me. No, yeah, it's good to ask that, obviously. But again, it's good to ask the question of, do you have any sort of financial or cash crunch or something of sort? How is your home? How do you guys survive? Do you have maybe like a sort of a disease that goes on maybe back at your home that need to be supported like each and every time? They are very sensitive information. Perhaps you may not ask this question the first date. Obviously, that may appear as if you are out of your senses. But But after establishing that comfortability with that individual, get to understand who they are. Is this guy the breadwinner from the other home? So that by the time you're coming on board, you come in good terms and be like, guess what? Okay, fine. I know this husband of mine, he has a trail of brothers and sisters whom he has to support. There is a mother, there is a father out there. There are some aunts and uncles that they have to support. This is a guy who has some orphanages that they have some kids that he wants to support. He's a philanthropist, so that at least don't get surprised the moment you get on board, because people don't even talk about these things. And if you do not talk about this, especially the finances, and I keep on telling you guys, finances contributes to close to 75% of the divorces that we have. So the thing is this: make sure that at least you understand the individual's financial level, you understand the individual's financial situation that they are in, so you do not get in a situation whereby you're gonna have some financial crisis on yourself. Because hey, guess what? You can actually get yourself into the thing, and by the time you realize you're already in a ditch, and then you're trying to figure out, hey, how do I get out myself into this kind of a situation? Okay, fine. What would I mean by suggestion? If you maybe say you love somebody who is already on a financial crisis, you see, real love means good. And I always tell people, you're not sure of the other person loving you. You're only sure of you loving them. The only thing, them loving you, it's a belief. Yet you have to trust that they love you back. Okay. So when we say real love is kind, it does not mean harm and not such kind of a thing. That's why I said, get in with understanding of, I can actually empower this individual, can support them financially, and things can go south. And if you can become, or if you can come in good terms with that, be like, okay, what is the worst case scenario? I help this individual, they happen to go by themselves, I'm left alone. Well, obviously minus two things, them and also the cash. Am I okay with that? Fine. If you can be able to tick all those two boxes, go ahead and help them. And if you be an individual, be like, hey, guess what? My money cannot get out of my pocket without, I'm doing this on conditions. Well, I was about to say then you can agree, but again, you cannot agree to love each other. You see, you just love each other naturally. So that's why I always tell people, please get on board on something. Be like, hey, guess what? Ain't gonna cater for your finances. If you do have some problems with, you paying your house rent and something of sort, time to time I can throw some support, but I am not gonna take that, baggage and put it on my back and be like, hey, guess what? Whenever you think about rent, think about me. I cannot be able to say that. What I can do is this: hey, guess what? You do your thing by yourself. The moment you have some problems, then I can be able to throw some kicks in here and there. I mean, after all, we not only love each other, but also we support each other. But taking the whole baggage and putting on your head and be like, guess what? It's all about me. That you can actually get yourself into lots of problems, because you'll actually develop. Because obviously we have that skin that we've grown when we make that money, because we don't make that money just like that. It takes time, it takes commitment and such kind of a thing. So everyone has the emotional attachment to their cash. So the moment you take that cash that is emotionally attached to you, to somebody, then you tend to even become so much sort of, and that's why you find some people who help you and then they realize that you're not doing what they want. They kind of turn to be narcissists, nagging, and they kind of be a dictators, aggressive and such kind of things. Just because maybe they're helping you and you're not understanding what exactly is going on. Be very, very careful, guys. And I'm going to leave you with this point, that money is very spiritual. Very, very spiritual. Is a thing that whenever you give it out there, whenever you receive it from somebody, be very much careful. For example, can you imagine somebody just giving you like 200 Kenyan shillings and then the next hour they call you for a favor? It's very hard for you to actually say no, because you've already received their money. It has its own controlling effect, and that's why I'm saying it's very spiritual. So be very keen and cautious before you do anything. Otherwise, if you just do anyhow, you're gonna get yourself into lots of problems. That's it. That's my submission as far as the money is concerned. Take your time, do the thing that is supposed to be done, and that way you can be able to grow and expand yourself to the next level. Don't forget, the 10th of March 2024, I'm going to be having a video session whereby we're going to learn about investment at a one-on-one level, at a Google Meet video call or something of sort. It's going to go for 2 days. That is the 10th and 11th. And if you want to be a member of that, or if you want to be a part of that, then it's only 2,500 Kenyan shillings. Get that number of mine from the description. Give me a call. Let's talk business. And that's how we grow and generate each other. See you in the next one.